Hello, everybody. In this video, I'm going to give you some resources to use for you to implement high intensity training and isometrics. I'm going to take you on a journey via books about how I switched my training style. I grew up playing football and then I started to coach football, and I was always around 3 sets of 10. And then as you got closer to the season, you lowered it to 3 sets of 6, 3 sets of 3, 4 sets of 3, along those lines. So the variation while I was playing and coaching was the amount of reps you do in each set. Somehow I stumbled upon Doug McGuff along this journey. This is probably 2018. I watched a YouTube video of Doug McGuff, and it was on 21 Studios channel. It's probably still up there. And he spoke about one set to failure training, literally doing one set per exercise to momentary muscular failure, and that nothing more than that is needed to stimulate growth. So I thought that was interesting. So I started doing more research, and I bought his book, Body by Science. And this is where I got the big 5. This is loaded with great content, but today I want to talk about the big 5. It's 2 pushes, 2 pulls, and a leg exercise. So it's a total of 5 exercises, 1 set each to muscular failure. And the 5 exercises I began with, I went to a local gym. I said, I'm going to start to do this. Before I get into that, I just want to say you have to move the weight very slowly. Those are probably 2 of the most important things, is to move the weight slowly and do 1 set to failure per exercise. So I went to the gym and I tried it. I believe I started with a chest press on a machine because it's easier to go to failure on a machine and fatigue your muscles. So I did a chest press, very slow, 4 seconds up, 4 seconds down. Okay, and then I went to a pull down. Everybody knows a pull down. You go into a gym and you pull down. Again, to muscular failure. Muscular failure is when you can no longer complete the rep within good form. Set the weight down, move to the next exercise, shoulder press, overhead press. Nice and slow. I'm looking for 60 to 90 seconds of time under tension until muscular failure. So I'm starting to give you guys a lot here, but let's continue on. The seated row, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Upper body's complete. So we did the chest press, the pull down, the shoulder press, and the seated row. And then I went and did a set of leg press. Used machines for all of these because it's safer to get to muscular failure there. After your first workout doing high intensity training, this style, you will feel fatigued. It would only take you about 15 to 20 minutes. And the next day you're going to be sore. So this is a process that takes some time, is learning how to go to muscular failure. But after the first workout, myself and everyone that I've pretty much introduced this style of training to was bought in. I was bought in. So I continued this, and it's 2 days a week. You do a couple times a week, and then you rest. So I did this now at a local gym for about 3 months. I started to see physique changes right away. And I said, well, if I'm going to do this, I might as well go all in. And I went back to that video, 21 Studios, Doug McGuff video. And the very next speaker was Mark Sisson. I'm giving you guys a lot of resources here. I'm pretty much setting you up with a way that you can get all the knowledge you need to change your physique and your body forever. Easier, simpler. Simpler? Is that a word? I'm not sure if that's a word. Simpler. Anyway, I found Mark Sisson, okay, the Primal Blueprint. He speaks about eating like a hunter-gatherer. I don't know what year the hunter-gatherers were around, but take yourself back to that point in time. And you got your family, you got to go, and you got to go to the garden. You got to get food for the family. Your son's hungry, daughter's hungry. You go to the garden, you get some food. Okay, he's starting to set up your meal plan here. Get some nuts, get some fruits. Then you go and get some deer, you get some venison, meats. You know, there's no microwave here in this time. And that's pretty much what he's trying to say. So he wants you to eat low carb is basically the premise of this book. Low carb is very controversial, but, you know, don't knock anything until you try it. And you'll notice that a lot of my training styles are definitely needed to be tried because it goes against the grain. So low carb diet, high intensity training. There's a lot of resources out there on the internet to get this information in your hands, but follow me here. Okay. I started to see physique changes. I was losing weight because I was on a low carb diet, which is really just calorie reduction. And I was getting more tone because I was lifting the right way, taking my body to muscular failure. Bang, that's going all good and great. I'm still coaching at this point. So I was so fired up about high intensity training. I went into the workouts with my team, these high school kids, and I said, all right, we're doing everything one set to failure. Go. And I gave them the big 5 to do, one set to failure. And, you know, the athletes, some of them loved it. They weren't quite ready for it. I wasn't quite ready for it. So I needed to continue to learn through the process, but I was ready to teach the world this, and I'm still teaching the world this. I'm still here. So I start to implement this to some clients of mine. Now, when you start working with clients, you have to take care of their bodies. You don't want to hurt them. Every time you exercise, it's a stress to the body. I was concerned with not being able to control their joints and ligaments during an exercise. I didn't know what was going on in their body. I wanted to push them because that's what high intensity training requires, but I didn't want to hurt them. That leads me to my next resource, Joint Friendly Fitness by Bill DeSimone. Okay, so this book, along the high intensity training principles, he also had multiple YouTube videos that I watched, but Joint Friendly Fitness, how to do high intensity training, but save your joints so you're not achy at any point. You don't want to be in pain. Okay, ever. If you're exercising and then you're ultimately in pain, you should stop exercising because we're not trying to hurt ourselves while we're exercising. Find a way to exercise long-term without having to feel pain, like ever. Okay, Joint Friendly Fitness, moving within the right biomechanics. And this is where I started to understand strength curves, but I'm not going to go there. If you guys want to go and learn about strength curves, you go and do that. Basically, this book allowed me to implement safe protocols within the high intensity training realm. Okay, moving on. By the way, if you ever wanted to get into personal training, the CSCS certification, Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist by NSCA. You buy this book, you pay for the test, you study, you go take the exam, and bang, you're certified. You get a whole pamphlet, not even a pamphlet. What's it called? A bulletin. You get a whole a picture you hang on the wall. Certification. It's sent your way. Okay, now you're certified. But if you learn and understand the principles of high intensity training, they're so sound that you don't even need to be certified because it's just what's the word I'm looking for? It's human nature. High intensity training uses our natural being to build muscle. Okay, find that information for yourself. Continuing on. I just broke the vase. It's a fake plant anyway, if you didn't figure that out. There's even styrofoam in there. So I broke it, but let's continue on here. I eventually found High Intensity Training Business. High Intensity Business is a podcast by Lawrence Neal, and this opened up a whole huge community of high intensity training practitioners. It's just a community that's untapped currently still that you guys need to get involved with. Okay, this is where Mike Mentzer comes into play, Arthur Jones. Read up on those guys. You'll have all the information because everybody speaks the same language. Okay, while I'm listening to High Intensity Training Business podcast by Lawrence Neal, I find a podcast about isometrics by a man named Brad Thorpe, who owns IsoFit. And isometrics is where you contract your muscles but don't move your limbs, like a wall sit, for example. He created a company, a business, a product called IsoFit. Go ahead and search this online. I believe it's www.isofit.com. And it's called Overcoming Isometrics. It's basically a bar that you can adjust up and down, and you pull on the bar. Again, you're contracting your muscles, but you're not moving. I went in my garage. I got some ratchet straps, and I started to do isometrics with straps in my garage after listening to this podcast. And again, another interesting, innovative, different feeling. Similar to the first time I did high intensity training, isometrics gave me a feel that I thought to be sustainable long-term and effective. So I started to brainstorm, how can I introduce isometrics into high intensity training and do it with my clients? Bang, introduced the ISO rack. I have a Rogue rack, and I turned it into an isometric platform where you can adjust the bar and pull and press on the bar. Bang, again, my clients love it. They love high intensity training, 1 set to failure, 2 times per week, 30 minutes, 1 hour per week of exercise. They love that. I introduced isometrics to them. They love isometrics as well. I got 2 things that are working right now: the Mike Mentzer protocol and the Bruce Lee protocol. Okay, here we are. We're in October of 2023, and this is what I'm currently doing with clients and myself. So, moving on here, this book, The Ultimate Isometrics Manual by Paul Wade. This is where I found the Isomax. If you look at my YouTube and see the content on my YouTube, you'll see I have a lot of Isomax content. So with isometrics, you can't measure isometrics because you're pressing against a wall a lot of the times, or a bar. So you don't know how much you're pressing. With high intensity training, you get the measurables from the weight stack. You're doing a chest press at 100 pounds, it's 100 pounds. Next time you do it at 110, you've gone up 10 pounds. With isometrics, there was no way of knowing this, if you're getting stronger or exerting more force, until they created the Isomax, which measures, it's a tool that measures your force output. Right here. That bar that he's holding in his hand, that has a digital reader on it, and it gives you your force output. See if I can get a better picture of it. So I started having clients do this. Now we're getting analytics involved to isometrics. Is this into some innovative stuff, people? It's got to be extremely innovative. Measurable isometrics and high intensity training, 1 set to failure protocols, and just melding those 2 into one. I haven't made a name for it. I have a ton of content out there about it, though, but I haven't put it together as a program. But I believe it to be the safest, most effective way to implement strength training into your life. And not only strength training, the results that come with isometrics and high intensity training go beyond muscles. Your face clears up. You sleep better at night. Your appetite is better. You're sharper. Your brain is more clear. Okay, putting your body under an intense contraction sends out chemicals and electricity through your nerves. And that, imagine what that does to your body. Okay, these are chemicals that are built within. I'm not talking about taking chemicals from the street, from your plug down the street. I'm not talking about those chemicals or steroids or anything like that. I'm talking about internal chemicals, biology. We're using biology. We're leveraging biology to get results in a safe manner. Okay, how can you not want to try that? I've given you so many resources today, but let's close this out here. I broke my lamp. I have a ton of books over here. You all are now experts, so my job is no longer needed. I've worked myself completely out of the market. Let's go down the resource list. Okay, High Intensity Business podcast by Lawrence Neal. Tons of information there. It's free. Okay. Then we get our Joint Friendly Fitness by Bill DeSimone. Find that on Amazon. Moving along. If you want to be a personal trainer, The Essentials of Strength and Conditioning. This is the book that comes with the exam. With the exam to be CSCS certified. Or if you want to be a strength coach, that's really what this is more certified towards. Being a strength coach or for a high school or college. But some great content. The first couple of chapters are very dense with sarcomeres and myofibrils and actin and myosin overlaps, which I love. And then it gets away from that further in the book. So it starts with science. It does. The book starts with science. Okay, speaking of science, we move on to Body by Science. I believe this also talks about the cross bridging. Let me take a look here. Let me see if I can find some photos. I don't see any cross bridges, but cellular, I'll have to get into that one day, the science behind everything, but we'll get into that one day. Okay, anyway, Body by Science by Doug McGough. Go and get it. The big 5 should be where you start. The primal blueprint. So if you want to go low carb or carb free, you're going in this direction. If you want to do a calorie deficit, you're going in this direction. This is Ellington Darden. He's another great resource for high intensity training. He's written many books, this being one of them. Basically, he just takes your calories away. I believe you start the diet with 6 meals a day. And then after 2 weeks, you go down to 5. After 2 weeks, you go down to 4. After 2 weeks, you go down to 3 meals. And does it get more simple than that? You just take a meal away per day to reduce your calories. I mean, come on, people. And then I believe this is the only Isometrics book I've read to date, which maybe I'll write an Isometrics book when all is said and done. But here we go, the Isometrics manual. This gets into detail about, I'm 16 minutes. I think this is perfect, actually. This gets into detail about, once again, the evidence behind Isometrics and how it matches, how it compares to dynamic exercise like lifting weights. Let's see if we can get, I really love this one too, because I believe this talks about sarcomeres and myofibrils and muscle fibers and motor units, baby, all that boring stuff that you got to learn about. You want to recruit more motor units? You do Isometrics. You want to recruit more nerves? I'll leave you with this. Paul Wade, the Isometrics manual, talks about software, strength software, meaning the communication between the nerves and the muscle fiber and the mind and the human. For example, say a muscle fiber has 100 motor units, 100 motor units of capability. Some people can only turn on 25 motor units. Some people could turn on 50 motor units. I don't know about you guys. I want to be the one that could activate as much as possible. Okay. Isometrics allows that because of how much force is generated. Isometrics, you're pressing, because you're not moving, you're pressing with so much force. You're able to generate so much force. When I start moving, there's less force. Right here, I'm able to generate more force, therefore recruiting more nerves to withstand that force. So now I'm getting more muscle activation. And then you train the body over time to instantly turn on those muscle cells. Instead of instantly turning on 15 motor units, your body's now trained to turn on 65 motor units. I don't know if you're going to get to 100 unless you're trapped underneath a car or you're on speed. Sorry about that. Let's stay on track here. Isometrics makes you contract more muscle fiber. I think that's enough for today. That's dense enough of a live podcast today. That's 18 minutes, 45 seconds, 18 minutes, 47 seconds. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, people from all over the world, this is G with Studio Athletics. If you want me to set you up with a program, either Isometrics, high intensity, or both, email me, studioathleticsg@gmail.com. studioathleticsg@gmail.com. And we'll Zoom and I'll take a look at the equipment you have available to you. You can even take me with you to the gym and I can look at the machines you have and we'll put together a program for you, and also an isometric program. You can go lean in with Isometrics and be completely 100% Isometrics. I'll get you set up there. Or you can do half and half, or just I can give you a warm-up. There's a fantastic isometric warm-up. You just need a wall. It's amazing. I can show that to you. So thanks, everybody. See you next time. Over and out.